Hi, everyone. I'm Gina Doyle. I'm a senior product designer for Runner Fleet, and I'm going to talk about our sponsorship that the UX team has with Tufts University right now. And also, I'm going to bring Ben into the conversation a little bit because he's been helping out with a lot of the research activities that the students are performing. But to give you just a description about like what this is in general, this is like a free sponsorship that GitLab is doing with Tufts, and Tufts University is in Medford, Massachusetts, somewhat near Boston, and they have this really great human factors engineering major that they offer. It's also called engineering psychology. You might have heard both in the field at some point. And part of that major includes a capstone project, and that's specifically for seniors to complete. And the capstone project is pretty cool. You might have heard me talk about it in UX Weekly a little while ago, but the students get to actually solve real life problems and team up with industry level sponsors. So in this case, us, GitLab. And throughout the semester, this is during their spring semester, they deliver professional level work that is usually like determined by their instructors. And then they also create weekly reports and presentations. And they also meet with us. So we've been meeting with them every Friday, and they ask us questions, that type of stuff. We just meet on Zoom. But the outcome of the course for them is to create a final project video and a poster to share with their students in their class, and then a presentation which they record and they present to their class. For GitLab, we decided to focus on CI/CD for this project, which was a little tough because there's a lot of very technical pieces of that work, but we thought some of the benefits of that is to be able to get some fresh eyes on the CI/CD features. Another thing is that we've realized that a lot of the features that we created a very long time ago, and they're kind of separated. We could create a more coherent experience across CI/CD. And then we also just benefit from getting exposure to GitLab as a product, and exposure to our UX department, research, design, tech writing, all of that. And then we also get to share our handbook stuff, UX methods and research, and we get to share that with others. And I can already tell you that a lot of the students find that very helpful that we have that stuff documented. So when we refer to a specific method, we can just like send them the documentation. It's easy for them to look back on. This is the project that we use right now to track everything. The students do not track their work in this project. They don't use GitLab. They have to use Notion. So I included this link in the agenda. This is like, the homepage is really like this, where they're capturing all the things that they're doing. And then what I was just looking at is they typically in their groups, so we're working with 5 students, and typically one of them is more of like a product manager. They want to do that in the future. And then a few are developers and a few are designers. And so the project manager typically sets this stuff up so that they know their deliverables that they have to do for each week. For the beginning of this project, the first thing that we just wanted to give them was kind of like resources about everything that CI/CD was, so that they could get up to speed with that if they weren't familiar. The good thing is that one of the students on the team has experience with CI/CD, so they were kind of able to work with the other students to get them up to speed. And the project write-up, I won't read it right now, but you're welcome to go to the project and look at this. But the tagline was enable new GitLab developers to work faster. So what they're concentrating on is the onboarding experience for CI/CD. We specifically help them scope it down so that they could actually perform all of the different projects that they need to complete by the end of the semester. So we focused on new GitLab developers who have previous experience with CI/CD, but they're just using GitLab for the first time. And right now, where they're at is running some research. they've already put together a crazy amount of proposals. I'll just give you a quick snapshot into that. So their discovery research, where they did competitive analysis, they went through goals and objectives. Like, it's really professional deliverables that they're giving. You can also get to that through their Notion site if you want. And they came up with this usability testing script where they're now just having participants walk through the tasks for onboarding for the current experience in GitLab. And then they're going to use some of the data that they got there. And then Ben put together a lot of the SUS results feedback that we got around pipelines. They'll use all of that to come up with some recommendations for a better experience. And they'll be able to use our Figma design kit for that as well, because they want to be able to actually create designs for that. I think that's a good summary of where they're at right now, but I did want to give Ben a chance to give us a description of like how you think the experience is going and talk more about the research stuff.
Sure, thanks. Yeah, just to echo what Gina was saying about the level of quality and professionalism these students have, I'm super impressed. I mean, we're not going easy on them. We're expecting them to do real work, and so far they've absolutely done it. You know, they're doing real usability research with real GitLab, or, you know, in this case, non-GitLab users, but people in the real world who are professionals and giving us real world feedback that I think we'll actually be able to use to improve the onboarding experience for CI/CD, which I think is a really, you know, worthy task for us to focus on. So, you know, a lot of times these can sort of devolve into almost a, you know, a throwaway sort of effort. I don't think that's the case here. I've been really impressed with the program and the students, and yeah, it just, you know, I think it's really, really worthwhile. So I'm happy that we're doing it and happy to be involved.
Thanks, Ben. And also I wanted to thank some other people from our group that have helped a lot with this effort. Christy, Valerie, Hayana have all helped move this thing along, and I'm so excited that we get to do this. This is like one of my favorite things to do, to be able to help college students, especially, to learn more about industry level experience. All right, I'll look at the questions.
Thanks. I got the first question, Gina. I mean, I'm also very excited to see us working with colleges. I remember I think it was a couple years ago, we did like an advanced engineering course with Morehouse. I wasn't sure if this is like, we're doing the same thing, but we're doing it with Tufts, or if we kind of like, oh no, we've kind of learned from there. We are going to focus on helping students get to a capstone project kind of thing.
Yeah, I haven't heard of
Maybe Tori would know the answer because it looks like her name was on the list from Morehouse.
Yeah, so the Morehouse initiative was it encompassed more than design, and what I'm gathering from this is it's just design work and design. Yeah, so Morehouse, it was led by an engineering Darva, and she kind of put it together. It included all sorts of different people at GitLab, so design, engineering, front and back end. I think like our dev, the people who help developer evangelists, kind of all the different marketing, I think, was involved. So there's a lot of different people who were part of that, and then each person taught one class. Some engineers taught multiple classes. So yeah, it was like kind of all encompassing to give students an idea of where they would want to go in tech.
That's awesome. I didn't even know that existed. The way that that's different from this is we're not teaching classes. They have their own instructors at Tufts, and they set out a program for them to create certain deliverables, and then GitLab or whatever sponsor each team is working with just meets with them weekly and makes sure that they're on the right path and gives them the problem that they want to solve. In the beginning of the semester, they actually get to pick from like 10, 15 different problems that they could take on and different companies to team up with.
And apparently, like, we were really sought after.
Yes.
They told us that they were the lucky ones. So it's kind of awesome.
Awesome. Love it. Mike, I think the other ones are read only. Oh, nope. Erica, you're next.
Yeah, so I was just wondering if there was a way to leverage these relationships to help us recruit non-GitLab users or early GitLab users for our research studies, because that fresh perspective is really helpful. And we can think about what the funnel would look like, but I could send you some common screeners that they could fill out. Or maybe there's like a more friendly way, but it would be awesome to figure out how to get a pipeline going.
Yeah, we can talk with the instructor and see what she thinks, but I think that would be possible because a lot of computer science majors would be interested in that, and that's a huge program there.
Yay, yes. And they would learn about research by participating in research.
True.
I think I've got the next question. So I guess to provide some context, I've been on both sides of this before, like helping interns or just people in college get some professional experience, but also actually been in grad school kind of working on this on that side. You know, given how successful this has been, you know, as you've been showing it off, like, do you think this might continue with Tufts in future semesters or academic years? And if this is something you've actually previously discussed?
We have not discussed that yet. I think this depends on how much capacity people have to help out. I can't give you a straight answer. I would like it to continue.
Yeah, I didn't mean to put you on the spot too much.
No, that's
there,
okay. I think from Tufts' perspective, they would like it to continue, at least.
Sorry, Gina, for interrupting. I think a good thing to mention is that this is a volunteer-based initiative, right? So anyone, as Gina said, that has the time to help out and work on this, yeah, it's welcome to join. And then if we're able to do that, I think it'll be something interesting for product designers, researchers. I'll say anyone in our teams to, yeah, engage with students and also, you know, practice design leadership, but also, yeah, have this experience of seeing how we can find out more and connect with real people, right? Like the students can connect to our users and everything else. So yeah, I put a read-only item, but I've seen Gina and Ben running this thing, and they're doing an outstanding job. So keep an eye on the results, because I think we're going to see something very interesting at the end of this project.
Thank you.
Sweet. I don't see any other questions. So thank you, Gina. Thanks for sharing with us this project that you've been working on.